This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, January 31st, 2007, and this is episode 211 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm your host, Matt Hochberg from mgmstudios.org. On today's show is Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. How are you, Len?
How's it going, Matt?
I asked you first.
I am doing so well. How are you? That could just be the Vicodin talking, but go ahead.
I'm doing well also, and that's just the booze talking.
It's just the booze. All right, well, yeah. It is Saturday night, you know.
Yeah. You know, I put my pants on one leg at a time. Also on the show is Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
Very beautiful within, but without a key to unlock it. And that is my gift to you. There's Googling going on right now.
Very beautiful within, but without a key to unlock it.
Without a key to unlock it.
I don't know. It's on Mouseport Radio. I don't know it.
And that
Snow
is
White.
my gift to you.
Snow White.
Nope.
What's the answer? We only got 20 minutes.
The answer is Captain EO.
Captain
Wow.
EO. Wow.
Well, you know, we're talking 200 plus episodes. We're starting to get into some obscure podcast openings.
And the man who doesn't have any Captain EO on, it's Mike Newell of Mouseport Radio. Welcome, Mike.
I am here to change the world. Nothing?
Change the world.
Nothing? Aw.
Sorry. On today's show, it's listener questions. So if you have your own questions, email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. Our first one is from Benson Knight of Albany, Georgia, who writes, "Hey guys, love the show. In February, I will be interviewed for a cast member job at Walt Disney World. I have heard that in the interview you can suggest where you might possibly want to work in the parks. Assuming that I get the job, cross your fingers, I will probably pick the Haunted Mansion. I want to know where y'all would choose to work, keeping in mind that you will work the same attraction for many, many months. Thanks a lot." I know where Scope is working, Aloha Isle.
Wasn't there an announcement this week about some dream jobs?
Yeah, dream jobs, yeah.
Skipper on the Jungle Cruise. Not to sway away from the question, but to sway away from the question. A Jungle Cruise skipper, a Haunted Mansion butler, or a maid. I think there was a parade performer, and what was the other thing? Pirate apprentice. But what would I want to be? If I had the talent, I would want to be a voice of liberty. That's what I would want to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Len?
Probably somewhere in, I always wanted to be one of the people who did the Living with the Land spiel on the boat ride, but I guess it would be probably host of Spaceship Earth. But I got to mention though, just because Disney asks you where you want to work, that doesn't mean anything. We certainly know of a number of listeners to this show who are cast members, and their original locations, for example, where they picked were, Adventureland and the Magic Kingdom, and they end up at Animal Kingdom.
Sure.
It's just not. It's like going in the Army. I mean, once you're in, and you're going to go where they tell you.
Right.
Well, not every attraction also is available to new hires. Like I know
Right.
Tower of Terror, you can't work as a new hire. You have to start off somewhere else and then transfer in eventually.
Right, because of the ghosts, right?
Ghosts, exactly. Yeah, they have to
Yeah.
clear it with their union. Newell.
Monorail pilot.
Monorail. Very cool. I would probably do... I don't know. I'll pick the easy answer off the top of my head.
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror, there you go. Let's move on to the next question. If I think of anything else, I'll say it. It's from Michelle of Nashua, New Hampshire, who writes, "Hi guys, I love the show and enjoyed meeting you at MouseFest. Even better than MouseFest, I was back at Walt Disney World last week and bumped into Mike Scopa in line for Pirates and tried my first Dole Whip. One of Disney's Million Dreams? I think so. Here's my question. While in line for Everest, I noticed that there was a guy with a Sherpa hat in the Fast Pass line. He seemed to know all the cast members and was led to a choice seat at the back of the ride. I thought I'd heard somewhere that there was a guy who had just ridden Everest hundreds of times. Have you heard about this guy? Just when I think I'm the biggest Disney geek, someone surprises me. Thanks, keep up the great work."
I mean, it's entirely possible. I mean, there are people who do research for the guide who have been on Soarin' more than 1,000 times, and and other people who have been on Mission Space more than 500. So I mean, it's entirely possible. People have their own favorite ride, and they do it.
Hi, Michelle.
So it's probably some dude out there. Next email comes from John Mooland of Gosford City, Australia, who writes, "Hi, Matt, Mike, and Len. We are a family in Australia that until recently was starved of Disney information and travel advice. You may be surprised to hear that Disney does not market their parks well outside of the States, except in the United Kingdom and Canada, and will not even send out planning videos to interested international travelers. After endless attempts requesting information, videos, or even an email back to us regarding park information, organized a trip, we had given up on visiting Walt Disney World." John goes on to write, Jack goes on for a little while explaining the intricacies of why there's no. He complains basically about the lack of advertising to Australia. But he does say at the end, "If you are ever in Australia, please give us a call, and it would be our pleasure to return the great help you have provided us."
Awesome.
Len, when are we going?
Australia?
Australia. Let's go.
As soon as they open a park.
As soon as they open a park, there's no reason to go otherwise.
Yeah, I mean,
Why
the
don't
next
put
time
you
I'm
in
over
his
there.
pouch?
I go tomorrow.
Next email comes from Kyle, who writes, "Hey guys, love the show, like you haven't heard that exact 5 words in a row before. And to be cliched again, meaning I bet you probably had this question like this before, have you had any experience with rude cast members? Thanks. If this makes it on the show, and if it doesn't, that thanks will be replaced with I hope your podcasting equipment fails."
Nice talk.
That's how it got on. I've had one that came as I read this email. I remember Tower of Terror. Over the summer, I was on it, and there was that whole thing about the "You Are Doomed" thing disappeared off the ride, and as a result, I went to go try to take pictures of it. And when I got there, I noticed there was some guy working in the area. He was like doing something I couldn't quite see, so I started taking pictures of the guy. Well, the cast member who's working load over there by the library made a snide comment. "Sir, could you please stop taking pictures of that? Like, it's not, a public place." And that really just bothered me, because there's really no reason why I felt that I shouldn't have been able to take a picture on,
Did you not tell him who you were? Matt Hochberg?
I try not to drop the name, but I should have. That would have definitely, put him in his place, right, Len?
I'm just saying, occasionally it's...
I drop his name all the time.
Yeah, I say I'm Matt Hochberg all the time.
You guys have any similar stories?
Yeah, not really. I mean, generally I haven't seen anything really, really bad in terms of rudeness. I mean...
Yeah, I've
seen
99% fine.
indifferent cast members, but that's not the same thing as being
Rude.
right. Being rude. So.
Next email's from Bob Hovorka of Antioch, Illinois, who writes, "I just listened to your show about annual passes, and I have a question. Does the annual pass give you a discount for the Disney Cruise Line also? For instance, if I wanted to book a 7-day land and sea adventure, would the same discounts apply? Keep up the great work. One of these days, I'll get around to calling in on the live broadcasts." To my knowledge, there's no discount on the cruise line, because in my little pamphlet, Disney annual pass discounts, it doesn't mention anything there. However, I would think that if he's interested in doing a land and sea package, that he would be able to, you'd be able to get the annual pass discounts that anyone staying on property would be able to get, right, Len?
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be anything for cruises. Generally, it's because the cruises book up so often anyway. If you know who would know, Sue Pizzatoro would know. You might want to drop her a line at bdwvacations.com.
Great. Next email's from David from Illinois, who writes, "Hello, gentlemen. I have 2 questions and hope you could answer. First question is, upon our last visit, we noticed the Wonders of Life Pavilion was completely closed. I have answered this question before, before I started listening to your podcast, but what's the status of this pavilion?"
It was open over Christmas, and it looked, to be honest, it looked kind of beat. I mean, did you guys go during MassFest?
I did.
I wasn't
yeah.
able to go.
No.
I did.
The ride for Body Wars, the ride itself was okay, albeit outdated. The film itself is just in poor condition. The color's starting to fade in the film, and clearly it's now that it's 20 some years old. You can tell that it's not made with the same type of special effects technology that you've come to expect over the last 10 years in even basic cinema. A lot of the hands-on exhibits in the pavilion itself are broken now, and they're not going to be. It doesn't look like they're being repaired. There's this one activity where you're supposed to be. It's a Helen Keller type exhibit where you're supposed to be blind, and so there's this large cylinder in the middle of the middle of the floor, and inside of it is this thing, and what you're supposed to do is stick your hands in and sort of feel it to figure out what it is. And it turns out it's the Statue of Liberty. And the way that they prevent you from seeing it is by having these like long black fibers, like almost like broom straws, but black, hanging down. So you can still stick your hands through it and feel it, but you just can't see through it. Well, the problem is that over time, all of the little black broomstick hairs broke. So now you can just see into it, and it's green colored, and it's a dress, and there's a lady with a torch. I mean, it's either Carmen Miranda or it's the Statue of Liberty. It's the Statue of Liberty. So stuff like that is broke. And you look at a lot of the stuff, and it's some of the headphones don't work now, and some of the audio exhibits, and
the bikes were all covered up.
Yeah, it's just it's open, but it's on life support.
The wonders of life support.
The wonders of life support, exactly. It's just not. I mean, there are no shops. There are no beverages in there, so it was at this point it was just kind of I went back in to see it one last time, and that was it. It was like I mean, literally, it was like walking in to see a friend on life support. It's like that's not how you want to remember someone.
I was just going to say the same thing. It's like going in and saying goodbye to a friend the last time.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want to see it like that, and you don't want to I don't want to see it get any worse or anything like that. So
yeah.
David also wants to know any preview or idea about when the new Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor comedy attraction will be. What will it be like?
Still, I'm guessing late spring, like probably definitely in time for Easter. Maybe in time for some of the later spring breaks in March. They started doing limited testing again in the Magic Kingdom, and they've completely revamped a lot of the skits to get more laughs. They've redone a couple of the characters. I understand that the animation is a little bit more finished than it was originally. So we're looking maybe 2 months from now. Should be open. Maybe even sooner than that, depending on how well they fine tune the script.
Cool. David also writes, as an aside, after listening to last Friday's podcast, I can't help but agree that I wouldn't miss Animal Kingdom if it disappeared. It has its benefits, mainly the ambiance, but my wife and I have gotten through the good stuff, including Expedition Everest 3 times in about 3.5 to 4 hours. Thank you, David. Next email is from Carrie in Arizona, who writes, I just have to say that I just found your podcast and absolutely love it. I'm listening to your archived episodes and nearly peed my pants. I believe it was the live show in August when your crew was...
Walt Disney World Today, the bladder control episode.
I believe it was a live show in August when your crew was speaking about the horrendously long lines that occur in counter service locations, and Mike Scopa's advice was to say loudly, well, I know what I'm getting. Anyway. That was, if you recall, that's how
works. That works.
I'm gonna start saying that.
Well, I know what I'm getting. Move out of my way.
We could start saying, "Hey, Mike, remember the last time you had the chicken wrap? You didn't get out of the bathroom for a week. What are you having this time?" And you just start narrowing it down until the only thing left is the hot dog, right? Yeah, looks like the only safe thing on this menu is the hot dog. What are you getting?
So funny. That guy. I mean, it was like the sea parting its way. Moses parting the Red Sea. Okay, Mister, if you know what you got.
Carrie goes on to write, anywho, I have a question about Disney Transportation. There are Disney Vacation Club members staying at the Boardwalk Villas. We have dinner reservations at the Contemporary, and I'm wondering what the best way is to get there. I thought that since we will be within walking distance to Epcot via the International Gateway, we could walk to Epcot and then catch the monorail over. However, the day of our reservation is a non-park day for us, and we didn't want to waste, for lack of a better term, a day on our passes just to cross the International Gateway. Yeah. What are your suggestions?
A couple of things. You could take a bus from the resort to the Magic Kingdom and then walk. It's maybe a 7 or 8 minute walk. It's not bad at all. Yeah. It's certainly it's about the same distance actually as walking from the villas to the front of Epcot.
Oh yeah,
that's the least expensive option. The fastest option is probably a cab.
Yeah, cab or rental car. But if you're going to be with Disney Transportation, certainly taking the bus to the Magic Kingdom will drop you off right. That'll drop you off at the Magic Kingdom, not the Ticket Transportation Center. So then you can just walk right over, and it's a really easy walk. Not
it's pleasant actually.
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah.
Next email's from Jose Baldovinos of Lakewood, Colorado, writes, "Hello, my name is Jose from Lakewood, Colorado, ex-cast member as a college program, but still go back to Walt Disney World about twice a year.
Cool.
Anyway, question about the PhotoPass system. On our last trip in April, we loved using the PhotoPass system, and now I'm hearing that they're installing it on rides too. So far, I've heard that on Test Track, but do you guys have any other rides that they're planning on putting it on?"
I don't know of any other specific rides. I've just heard the whole general, yeah, we're going to roll it out everywhere type thing. Even for
Everest?
parades, actually.
What about Everest? Did you hear anything about Everest getting that?
No, but it would make sense that it would.
I thought I heard somewhere that Everest might.
Hmm.
Right around when you see the Yeti.
Yeah, well, they have the photo on there, obviously. I mean, you can get your photo.
Oh.
But I mean, I'm not sure if it's linked to PhotoPass.
Oh, PhotoPass. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, PhotoPass.
Yeah, sorry, it's all right. The Alzheimer's pills will kick in eventually.
Yeah.
Next email comes from. Whoa, it took a while to get that joke. Lori Lofgren, who writes, "Normally I have an annual pass, but since I wasn't planning on back to Walt Disney World at all between our previous trip of September 2006 and the next planned one of October 2008, I let it expire. Now I'm wanting to go to Walt Disney World for Mouse Fest this year. If I buy a 10-day ticket and only use 6 of them, can I upgrade the remaining 4 days to no expiration, or would it have to be done on the full 10-day ticket? Or
It'll be on the full 10 day.
It'd be on the full 10-day?
Yeah, and I think there might be actually be a restriction on the. I could be wrong on this, but there might be a restriction on the day on which you could. Nah, probably not. Never mind. I think you just have to pay it in the full 10 days, though.
It'd be cheaper to do it.
Well, because what would happen is people would do exactly that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not what Disney wants. Disney wants you to pay the most money.
Great. Next email comes from Sarah in PB Gardens.
Sarah!
Hey guys, Sarah and Peanut Butter Gardens over here. Just to say hi. It's been a long time since I sent an email. Last August brought me to the Magic Kingdom with a broken ankle. That was fun.
Tell me about it.
Anywho, I just wanted to let you guys know how much my 8-year-old niece.
just got that scope.
Evans is just kicking in, right?
Woo! Again.
Anywho, I just want to let you guys know how much fun my 8-year-old niece and I had at the Halloween Boo to You party. Just a tip, if you go on a Monday or Tuesday night, you get the best candy, and the lines are less than 15 minutes long. Hope you're all doing great. Later, Gators. Thank you,
Awesome.
Sarah.
That'll be good for next October.
That's very true.
Awesome.
And they're also cheaper those nights. I believe the tickets are cheaper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, going on weekday nights is always the better way to go to any of these kinds of parties. Quick question from Richard from Spring, Texas. Most Disney fans know about the Magic Kingdom Utilidor system. Do the other Walt Disney World parks have a similar system?
No.
Nope,
No.
they're the only ones.
They don't even have it at Disneyland. Just one thing. Mr. Newell, do you have time for another question?
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, then, let's pick one. Let's go with this one. It's from Janet of Huntsville, Alabama. Whereas we're going to be going to Walt Disney World the last week in January and trying to decide whether to rent a car. And I'm wondering what the policy is for overnight parking at the parks. Can you leave your car overnight, or do they confiscate it to be used later in the Disney Studios stunt show?
I was just going to say the exact same thing. That was awesome.
Just curious, because I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere. I was wondering what happens if, say, you park in Animal Kingdom, and at the end of the day, with a late dinner at Epcot long after Animal Kingdom is closed, can you just ride the bus over back to your hotel and get the car the next day?
I don't think they.
I don't think they're going to tow them.
Yeah, I mean, they at a certain point, there was nobody in the parking lot, and there's nobody at the toll plazas. I mean, you can go to any of the parks after 9 o'clock. I mean, you go to the Magic Kingdom from let's say the Magic Kingdom is open till 10. You go past the toll plaza at like 8:30, 8:45. There's
Yeah, they're just waving you in. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I know there are
nobody in the
buses.
parking lot.
I think this is a great opportunity for Janet to test what happens.
I think so too.
Just make sure you get the extra insurance before you do all this.
Exactly. The GPS, at least, on the low jack on the car.
Janet also writes, quick question for Len. When I planned my trip for January 26th and 31st, I checked the crowd calendar, and there was mostly 4s for that time. Recently it was updated to 5s and 6s. Is there something going on that time that would make the parks more crowded, or is this just based on updated historical information?
Yeah, it's just updated historical information. In fact, we've got people in the parks every day for the next 3 weeks at various locations throughout Walt Disney World, and I won't say where, but gauging crowds, and it's just part of our ongoing commitment to keeping that crowd calendar as updated as possible. So occasionally we go in and tweak things.
We need to get to these questions sooner. What's the date, Matt?
Yeah, I know, this week.
This week, last week. Well, she must mean 2008 because we always get to our questions so quick.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's it for us today. If you want to find our old episodes, read our show notes, or email us, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scoba, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.